everyone, my name is Nikita and I am from the Bodhi Academy. In the last videos, we have started with the chapter Electricity from 10th Standard Science textbook, and we have covered the concepts from till, parallel and series connection. Today we will be going to the next concepts of electricity. Today we will be starting with a new concept, which is the heating effect of electric current. Okay, so to start with, we will first revise what we had done last time, because it is very important in this topic. First of all, we had said that electric current is obtained by the movement of charges, the flow of charges, and the concept which pushes these charges is the potential difference. Okay, so we had seen that the flow of charges is due to the potential difference which pushes them, and then we get the electric current. Okay, this was the flow of the concept. So in this we had studied the formula V equals to W upon Q. Work done to move the charge was the potential difference. So here we can also find out that work done in joules is equals to potential difference into the charge. So this is the total work done in producing the electric current. Okay, so now it is observed that the work done, the energy, this is the energy, okay, this is the energy expended to produce the current, but a lot amount of energy is produced. Okay, a lot amount of energy is produced, and the main concept of energy is that it is also produced, it is also expended for the production of current, and also it increases the temperature of the device. Okay, so the first reason is for the production of current, and the second is to increase the temperature, means it heats the device. Okay, it increases the temperature and it heats the device. So the energy is expended for two reasons. First of all, it for the production of current, and second is for increasing the temperature. Much of the energy goes in the rest of the energy goes in the increasing the temperature and heating the device. Okay, so then when it is heated, okay, if suppose the circuit is purely resistive means there is a configuration. Okay, there is a configuration of many resistors connected directly to the source, to the potential difference. Okay, to the potential difference, to the battery, then the entire energy, okay, the entire energy will go in only heating, and the energy will get wasted. You will have no current. Okay, so this is the heating effect of electric current. So there are some derivations which we need to study in this concept, some formula. Okay, so the concept of energy, okay, the concept of energy says that energy is equals to power into time. Okay, power into time. Now what is this power? Power is the energy consumed in that time. Okay, the energy consumed in that time. So power is actually the energy consumed, means the work done. Power is the work done in that particular time. So we know that the formula for work done is VQ. Okay, the formula for work done is VQ. Okay, now in time t, so if we have to consider the work done in time t, then we will divide the Q with T. Okay, so now we have studied that this Q upon T is equals to what? I, that is current, right? Current. So this formula will be V into I. Okay, so the power formula is V into I. Now I have to write energy. What is energy? We know that energy is P into T. So energy is equals to P into T, and we have just now seen that P is equals to V I, and this just multiply with T. So now the answer will be V I T. Okay, so this is said as heat. Okay, the energy is expanded as heat. So for this formula we use, this formula is used as the formula for the heat. Okay, now I will apply Ohm's law. Okay, on applying Ohm's law, Ohm's law. What is Ohm's law? Ohm's law is V equals to IR. So we'll replace this V with IR, which will give me H equals to IR, okay, into I into T, which will be I will be I square R and T. So I square R T. Okay, so the heat given out is, heat is equals to I square RT. This formula is known as the Joule's law of heating. Okay, Joule's law of heating. It says that it talks about three concepts. First of all, the current and the resistance and the time. Okay, yes. Okay, so it is, so Joule's law of heating, the heat produced in the circuit is directly proportional to the square of the current for a given resistance. It is directly proportional to the resistance, and it is also proportional to the time. Okay, so Joule's law of heating says that the heat produced in electrical circuit is directly proportional to the square of the current for a given resistance, directly proportional to the resistance of the circuit, and it is also proportional to the given time. Okay, so what does it mean? It means that if this three concepts, okay, these three concepts are increasing, the heat will increase. Okay, it is directly proportional to the square of the current, also proportional to the resistance and the time. It depends on the current, resistance and the time. This is about the Joule's law of heating. Okay, now we will go to the practical applications of heat. Practical applications of heat. Now this heat, the heat produced in the circuit, can be good as well as bad. Okay, sometimes the entire heat produced in the circuit is only the entire energy, all the energy which is produced in the circuit is only for the production of heat, and in this case the heat, it can overheat the electrical device, which can change its properties, which can alter its properties. Now what are the good properties of what are the two practical applications? Okay, the practical application, first of all, it is used in appliances such as electrical heaters, toasters, okay, wherein the heat, much of the heat is used to heat the device, which is its main application. Okay, secondly, it is used in bulb filaments. Okay, the filament of the bulb has to retain a very high temperature. It has to it has to carry a very high temperature, because that high temperature, that high temperature will enable it to emit light. Okay, the light will be emitted only if the temperature of the filament is increased at that particular value. Okay, so higher the temperature, light will be emitted. In that case, the heat should be high in the bulb filament, then only it will be able to emit light. So in this case, the filament of the bulb should be made up of a material which can retain such high temperature, which can work on, or it should resist such high temperature. Okay, it should be able to take such high temperature. So the one of the material which is used to make this filament is the tungsten filament. Okay, it has a very, so the first property is it has a very high melting point. It has a very high melting point. And secondly, it is also the bulb is retained, or it is filled with gases, inert gases like nitrogen and argon, which will prolong the life of the filament. Okay, so in the bulb filament, the heating application is used, wherein the filament of the bulb should carry a very high temperature, should be heated to a very high temperature to emit light, or else it won't be able to emit light. So for that purpose, the filament should be of a material which can melt at a higher temperature, which has a very high melting point. So the material is tungsten. Tungsten is used for this purpose. Tungsten is used to make the bulb filament. And second important thing over here is the bulbs are filled with neon. The filaments are kept in an environment with argon and nitrogen gases, which are inert gases. The main reason is to prolong the life of these filaments. Okay, so this is the another concept. And the third concept about heat is the fuse. Okay, a fuse is like a protection. It is like a protection to our electrical devices. It is always placed in series connection with the devices or the circuits. What is the reason? It is placed in series. Now what is the main role of this fuse? If a very high current is flowing through the circuit, unduly high current, then this fuse, it is made up of alloys. Okay, the wire of the fuse is made up of alloys. If a very high current is passing through the fuse, through the circuit, then what this fuse will do? It will melt. These wires will melt and break the circuit. Okay, how will this help? When the circuit will be broken, if a large amount of unduly very high, unexpectedly very high current is moving through the circuit, then what would happen? Your electrical devices will get damaged. Okay, in this case, what the fuse does? The fuse, it melts the wire. It melts its wire and breaks the circuit. So the current stops over there. And for this reason, your electrical devices get saved. Okay, and why does this wire melt? Because of heating effect. The energy, the high energy which is used to produce high current, okay, it is given out also as heat, which will melt the wires, and that's the reason it will break the circuit. Okay, so these are some of the practical applications of heat. So when we were studying about the heating effect of electric current, we first saw that the potential difference which is given by the battery in an electrical circuit, it does a work. Okay, it does a work which is equals to potential difference into the charge. Okay, and this energy is given out as current and also as heat. Okay, now the formula for energy is P into T. Okay, P into T. Then we derived the formula for heating, Joule's law of heating, which is equals to VIT, and further I square RT. Then we saw practical applications of heat, which includes the electrical heater, then the bulb filament and the fuse. So these practical applications of heat are very, very important, and they are the most asked questions in the paper, in the exam paper. Okay. The last concept which we will be covering in this lesson is the electrical power. Okay, so we have seen that the power means it is the work done, how much work is done in that particular time. Okay, how much work is done in that particular time. So work means it consists of the, so in simple, first of all, in simple language, power is how much work is done. It focuses on this, how much work is done in that particular time, right? So then we have work is VQ by T, which gives me V into I. Okay, so the first formula for power is V into I, which considers the potential difference and the current. Okay, now the second form. The second form is I will tell that it will consider the current and the resistance. It will not have the potential difference. So we are substituting this potential difference by using Ohm's law. Ohm's law is V equals to IR. So we are substituting this V with IR. So we will get VI equals to IR into I, which will be equals to I square R. So the second formula is P equals to I square R. Then the third one again, here we will be considering the potential difference and the resistance. Okay, now we know that this I is also equals to V upon R, right? So in the second case, in the third case, we will be substituting I with V upon R. So this V will be writing as it is into I is V upon R, okay, which will be equals to V square by R. Yes, yeah. So there are three forms. These are very important. There are three forms for the power. The first one is V into I, that is considering the potential difference and the current. Then the second one is I square R, considering the current and the resistance. And the third one is potential difference and the resistance, means V square upon R. These are the three forms of electrical power. Now, when we are talking about any quantity, we need to talk about its SI unit, right? So the SI unit of power is 1 watt. Okay, how do we derive this 1 watt? We will take the first formula, which is V into I. Okay, the SI unit of potential difference is 1 volt. The SI unit of current is 1 ampere. Okay, so we say that 1 watt, okay, when the current flowing through the circuit is 1 ampere having a potential difference of 1 volt, the power consumed is 1 watt. Okay, the power consumed in the circuit is 1 watt. Okay, so how is the definition? When the current flowing through the circuit is 1 ampere, considering the potential difference of 1 volt, the power consumed in the circuit is 1 watt. Now this was in terms of power. Now when we have to consider energy, what do? We consider time also with P into T. Energy is P into T. So when we say energy, what will be the SI unit of energy? SI unit of energy will be the SI unit of power is 1 watt, okay, and the SI unit of the time will be 1 hour. So the SI unit of the unit of energy, okay, the unit of energy which is used, the unit of energy is used is 1 watt hour, okay. Now this is a small unit, okay, this is a small unit. On a commercial scale, we have something called as the commercial unit of energy. Commercial unit of energy. In this case, we take a larger unit, okay, how we have grams and kilograms. In the same way, means the larger unit for grams is the kilograms. The larger unit of for watt, the larger unit for watt is something called as 1 kilowatt, okay. So 1 kilowatt is equals to 1000 watts, okay, 1000 watts. So now this formula will change as commercial unit of energy will be 1 kilowatt hour, okay, 1 kilowatt hour. So now while writing, I will write 1 kilo, while solving problem, okay, while solving problems, this 1 kilowatt will be written as 1000 watts, 1000 watts, and hour is written into as seconds. So we know that 1 hour is 60 minutes and then 60 seconds, which is equals to 3600. So 1 hour is equals to 3600. So this is the commercial unit of energy, okay. First of all, now let's revise. First of all, power is PV into I. It is also given by other two formulas. The second one is I square R, considering current and resistance. The third one is considering the potential difference and resistance, V square by R. Then we talk about energy. When we consider energy, okay, then we talked about the SI unit of power. The SI unit of power is watt. So what is watt? Watt, when the current flowing through the conductor is 1 ampere and then the potential difference in the circuit is 1 volt, then the power consumed in the circuit will be 1 watt, okay. Now when we consider energy, we take power and time. We consider time also. So how will the SI unit of power change into energy? The SI unit of power is watt. So we have to just add 1 hour over there. So the units of energy will be 1 watt hour, 1 WH, okay. Now when we consider commercial unit of energy, commercial means we can't use 1 watt for a commercial unit of energy, okay. We need a bigger quantity. So the bigger quantity is 1 kilowatt, okay. Take the example of grams and kilograms. 1 kilogram equals to 1000 grams. In the same way, 1 kilowatt is equals to 1000 watt, okay. So the commercial unit of energy will change into 1 kilowatt hour. From 1 watt hour, it will change into 1 kilowatt hour, okay. So now then 1 kilowatt hour. So 1 kilowatt is equals to 1000 watts and hours is equals to 3600 seconds, okay. So this is the commercial unit of energy. Now yes, so here we end the electricity chapter in this video. In the next video, we will solve the worksheets on the chapter electricity, some word problems and some practical applications of this chapter. And we will also solve the previously asked questions, the most important questions which are asked in the board exams, okay. Thank you for watching my video. Please like, share and subscribe.